future. In 1997, a devastating virus will claim the lives of 5 billion people. Animals will rule above while the survivors flee the planet's surface and live below. Humans occasionally dress protective gear and gather bug samples from the surface to test them for the virus. James Cole is one of them. He disobeyed the law and was given a 25-year term. Cole frequently experiences the same dream. A runway. A boy witnesses a man being shot and falling. Blonde woman chases him while screaming. He is granted the chance to travel back in time to 1996 and learn more about the Army of the 12 Monkeys in exchange for amnesty after another excursion outside to gather samples. Cole, however, is unintentionally transported back to 1990, where he is committed to a psychiatric hospital after unexpectedly showing up in town naked, yelling about viruses, and assaulting 2 police officers. His psychiatrist, Catherine Riley, believes she has met him previously, but she disagrees, believing that what he says is typical of a lunatic's ravings. Cole encounters animal rights campaigner Jeffrey Goins while he is at the asylum. Additionally, he is the famed virologist's son. Cole requests permission to make one phone call to the scientists of his time, who might be able to pick him up when he stands before the hospital board, which also includes Raleigh. A random mother with multiple children who has no knowledge of any scientists answers the phone. By inciting a ruckus, Jeffrey tries to assist him in escaping. He hands him the key to a hospital door that is locked. Cole is swiftly apprehended and imprisoned, though. Cole has vanished when Riley and her employer, Dr. Fletcher, visit the room to check on him. Currently, scientists have brought him back. Cole, when questioned by the scientists about what is happening, claims that he was drugged, brought to the incorrect year, and imprisoned. He is then granted a second chance to finish his task, but this time he is transported back to the wrong location. World War I. Cole has a leg injury. He sees his friend Jose, who was also brought back in time, as he crawls through the trenches nude and in anguish. Jose is being transported on a stretcher after suffering injuries. Cole is abruptly whisked away to another time before he has a chance to speak with him. Cole abducts Dr. Raleigh after arriving in 1996 and tries to persuade her that he is from the future. They travel to Philadelphia together by car. When Cole stops at a motel, he recalls having seen her in his dreams all along, however she was blonde in the dream. A missing youngster who has fallen into a well is mentioned on the radio. Although Cole claims to have been concerned about him as a child, it turns out that he was simply hiding in a barn, and the whole thing was a horrible prank. They encounter a wanderer in Philadelphia who claims to have transmitters in his teeth and is being followed by scientists. Later, they are able to locate the old business that the scientists had shown him a picture of in the present. They discover that Jeffrey Goins, with whom he shared an asylum cell, has left and is now employed by his father. The Army of the 12 Monkeys was created by Jeffrey. The group is committed to defending animal rights and releasing them from torturous tests. The gang claims that they severed relations with Jeffrey because he was too extremist and erratic and started working for his father, who they view as their enemy. Cole and Catherine visit Jeffrey's father's estate. When they get there, Riley takes out a gunshot that Cole received during a botched departure from his leg. Cole leaves it in the woods after locking it in the trunk of the automobile. He meets Jeffrey during a fundraising dinner. He admits that Cole was the one who came up with the concept for a lethal virus that would exterminate a portion of humanity. He was drugged, but he doesn't remember it. It appears that Cole is partially responsible for the catastrophe as a result. He gets away from the mansion's security personnel and releases Riley from the trunk. The doctor alerts the approaching police, who have been looking for them for a while, as he justifies wanting to stay in this moment with nature and enjoy life. However, as she turns back, Cole has vanished once more. Dr. Riley quickly comes to the conclusion that Cole is indeed knowledgeable because his predictions about even seemingly unimportant events frequently come true. The forensics determined that the gunshot in Cole's leg may have been discharged no later than 1920. Riley looks over the photos from a brief investigation, and one shows Cole in a foxhole and a wounded Jose being carried on a stretcher. She starts looking for Cole to persuade him to pick up his cause once more after becoming convinced that the Army of the 12 Monkeys is a threat to the planet. Riley visits the same Philadelphia store where the army was to look into the evidence Cole was gathering. Cole arrives out of nowhere as she starts writing notes for him on the walls. Riley convinces Cole that he is, in fact, mentally sick, and Cole is adamantly sure of this. Together, they travel to the closest budget hotel, where they are joined by a pimp who thinks Cole has rented Raleigh. The residents call the police after a brawl breaks out. Contrarily, Cole chooses to follow the tramp's advice and have his teeth pulled in order to marry his girlfriend for life. They choose to flee to the beach and go to the airport with Raleigh. They discover along the way that Jeffrey and his allies have succeeded in their goals. They abducted Jeffrey's father and imprisoned him in a zoo pen without dispersing the deadly virus. However, they did let all of the zoo animals out on Philadelphia's streets. They adjust their appearance before the flight by going to a movie theater and purchasing fake hair and a mustache. Cole contacts the same number from the airport and leaves a voicemail claiming that the army of the 12 monkeys was not involved in the crash. Shortly later, Jose appears and walks up to him, giving him a pistol and a directive to complete his mission. If Riley doesn't listen to Jose, Riley will be killed. Jose makes this abundantly plain. Riley now recognizes Dr. Peters, who co-worked in the lab with Jeffrey's father. The end of the world was his obsession. Peters successfully persuades security that his biological samples are safe during an airport security check. Cole learns this from Riley and understands the purpose of his quest. To murder Peters, he takes out a gun and chases after him, but the cops shoot and kill him as he runs. The youngster is present for the entirety of this. James Cole himself is doing this. He kept getting the same dream because of this. As a toddler, he witnessed his own death. Through her emotions, Catherine smiles as she turns to face the kid. Peters successfully boards the aircraft and finds a seat next to a woman who is currently one of the scientists sending Cole. She says, "My name is Jones, and I work in insurance."